The APBL Draft is this Saturday. The Dynasty League is live, and the Friday night draw is just 8 days away. All of this and more in 30 seconds.
Welcome to Alliance Report Studios, brought to you by Sport Management Solutions. Here's your host, Brian B.
Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Alliance Report. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's get into it. Here is your rundown for the night. Who's out there already? I see Tracy is out there. Good to see you as well. WAB 1955. Trevor, is that you again? I can never tell, but there's a D in the front, so that can't be Trevor. Who is WAB 1955? Somebody's got to let me know. But they say let's go, so I'm excited. Yep, grats. Why? You have to explain the WAB 1955 to me. Maybe you have already, and I just forget already. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I forget that it's you every time. My bad, brother. All right, so hey, here's the rundown for the night. We're going to talking about the APBL Draft, the MLB opening day, our opening day for the APBL. Concept to reality, this is us talking about the Dynasty League. It is live and ready to go. It is the AHSDL. It will be revealed, giving you a little bit too much information already. The road to Canton, more to do with the Dynasty League, and then we're going to finish it off by talking about the King of the Castle. Let's get into it with our first topic of the night, which is the APBL Draft. Yeah, I agree. I got to learn these new handles as well. And you don't know where that came from. So if I remember right, Jason can say something to me about this. I think these were created by YouTube or somebody connected to YouTube, correct? Whenever they made these, I don't know. You have to explain it to me. But hey, APBL Draft. So we're going to get our second chance of the APBL Draft this Saturday. So the last time that we went to do it, which was on the 7th of March, we had an issue with the draft order getting messed up as we were going into the draft room itself. When a couple other people noticed that the draft order was incorrect, we tried to fix it on the spot, but an hour before the draft, apparently everything locks, you can't do anything. So our thought process was that we would change everybody's pick time to 15 seconds. And then we figured after everybody was gone through for the whole 15 seconds twice, like most drafts do, that after you've been used your entire time twice, it just skips right through. And that's not how Yahoo handled it. Yahoo still at a 15-second draft timer still made it go 10 seconds. So it took an hour and a half, maybe even longer, for us to finally get done with that draft. We were able to nuke it. And we had to get it rescheduled. So the rescheduled date is this Saturday on the 28th at 6 p.m. Now, I've had some concerns since we already had one issue with it. And then there's also been a warning that has been coming up on Yahoo saying that if you're going to have your draft after March 25th, which was yesterday, opening day, we'll call it a soft opening for the MLB, and you wanted scoring to be done in week one, that you needed to get a hold of their customer service. Well, even though we're having our draft after the 25th and we're not starting our scoring until week 2, I thought I would still reach out to customer service anyways, just to clarify. And actually got to talk to a human, which was pretty daggone cool. And they answered the questions for me. They let us know that we are going to have our draft on the 28th. We are not starting our scoring until week 2. We are absolutely fine. And not only that, they did confirm that on the night or the afternoon that we tried to do our draft on the 7th, that they did have issues, and it was not our fault. They owned up to it. They apologized, but nothing we could do about it now. The draft is 3 weeks later. Again, this Saturday, the 28th, 6 p.m. Let's see. I'm catching up on all of this thing. MJ's out there. MJ, how are you? Baseball is back. Sean says baseball is back. That is actually kind of nice. I was just watching the Rangers-Phillies game. Let's see what else. Baseball Let's Roll this weekend by MJ. Jason says, yes, when you originally set up your Google account, side note, everyone that has a Google has a YouTube channel. Yeah, that I did know. The names are still very, very weird to me, though. So I've already put this out in the Discord channel, but I'm going to put it out here again live for those that are out there watching right now. If for some crazy reason the draft order gets rearranged again when we go into the room on Saturday, we're just going to draft whatever order they give us. I know that's unfortunate, and I'm hoping that we've got it fixed and they've got their act together and it won't be a thing. But we don't have enough time left for us to do this draft and then get our season started on Monday. So let's talk about opening day for MLB, and then we'll talk about our opening day since I just kind of let it be known that we're going to start on Monday. So MLB, Ferg says football. He is ready for that to get started. We will be talking about some football stuff here in a second, Ferg. So MLB season did start yesterday. Like I said a second ago, kind of a soft opening. Only one game being played yesterday. I don't feel like that is, and there's Ferg saying football. I really don't feel like that's opening day whenever you only have one game. But the Yankees and the Giants did play in San Francisco. Yankees end up getting that win, 7-0. And, I don't like to put out a whole lot of information out there because I like to try to keep it league focused. However, with the Yankees winning 7-0, Aaron Judge went 0-5 with 4 strikeouts. So I'm wondering if that performance actually hurts his draft positioning in the APBL draft on Saturday, but probably not. So there were 11 more games on the schedule today. A bunch of them started at 4 o'clock, so probably are done by now. But we have another game that should be starting here in just a second. I think first pitch was at 8:30, and that's between the Diamondbacks and the defending champion, LA Dodgers. Jason tells me that the Reds lost. I think JB was telling me earlier that they were playing against the Red Sox. So, unfortunately, they lost. That I don't know. I don't know of anybody who actually watched it. Maybe Sean did, because I know Sean was talking about it being on Netflix, and we know Sean loves his baseball, so maybe he got to watch it and he can give us some insight as well. So, MLB opening day yesterday, soft opening, 11 games today. We are full-blown into the MLB season, so let's talk about this APBL opening day. So, with the draft being on Saturday, our season will open on Monday, which is actually week 2 of the MLB season, but this partial week at the beginning here has got everything screwed up. It was nice enough for Yahoo to allow that to happen, saying, hey, you don't have to start scoring until week 2. It allowed us the flexibility to be able to move the draft to the 28th after we had the issue with it on the 7th. So we will start our season on 30 March. And the first pitch for us is going to be at 4:10 p.m. East Coast time. And that is going to be Minnesota at Kansas City. All right, on behalf of Ferg, since he's here right now, let's talk about some football stuff. So, Concept to Reality was the title of tonight's show. Let's explain what that means to everybody. So 15 days ago, we did a show on the 11th of March. That was like our comeback video, FSA coming back from the dead. On that night, we mentioned that there was a possibility that we were also thinking about doing a Dynasty. We had already rebranded the WRL and what we were doing for that this year. We also said that we were bringing back King of the Castle. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit as well. Threw out there that we might be doing a Dynasty, and then I would start hitting people up the next day on Discord to see if anybody was interested. They were. We filled all 24 slots. Well, the original plan was only to do 12, 14, or 16, and then we went past the 16 within the first almost 48 hours. So we decided to push all the way to 24 people to do 2 12s. It's going to be a little bit, I hate to do the comparison, but it's going to be kind of like the APFL was. Instead of having 32 teams, we're going to have 24 teams. It's going to be broken up into 2 conferences. We already got the 24 general managers all recruited. The rule book has already been written. It's been reviewed. It's published. It's on the website. The website has been updated for it. We are going to have 2 conferences. It's going to end up being 6 divisions. All of the general managers have already started logging in on MFL, which has already got it set up. I think we've got almost half the people paid in already. We are 13 days away from our start of our draft. So what was just a concept on the 11th of March is now a fully operational Dynasty League. So that was our concept to reality. Basically 14 to 15 days. We went from a, hey, we're thinking about, to a fully functioning league. And that league just happens to be called the AHSDL, which is the Alliance High School Dynasty League. So why is it named that? Let me see what Sean says here. The broadcast was all right. Didn't watch the pregame, but the in-game commentators was about what you'd expect for a baseball game. Okay, yeah. I do enjoy. That is probably one of my favorite things about baseball was the television personalities as they're announcing the game. It's a lot of fun. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm shocked of how well. And how, I don't want to say easy, it's never easy, but how well it went together. And for anybody on the outside, they would think that it went pretty smooth for us to put this league together. So, and let's talk about it now, the AHSDL. So we got enough interest in it. We got our 24 general managers after everybody confirmed that they were down for it. We decided that we were going to put a poll together for how we were going to theme this league. And we put out 5 different themes out there, and I'm going to give you what the themes were and what the results were from the poll. So the first one was the defunct professional teams. That was basically exactly how we ran the defunct teams last time. You pick a defunct professional football team, and in this case it wasn't going to be like we were going to do as we were trying to bring the defunct federation back before we just recently closed down, where you were stuck with doing an arena team or an XFL team, because those were the ones we chose. We were going to go back old school, Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot, and let you pick whatever defunct team you wanted. However, out of 24 votes, it only got 2. MJ saying so looking forward to this dynasty. Yeah, me too, because I'll talk about it here in a second. The next one that we had on the poll was the next 32 early build. So for those of you that have been around for a little bit, know that I've been working on trying to do another league that was kind of parallel to what the APFL was, and it was going to be called the next 32. And I did research to figure out what would be the next 32 cities that the NFL could be in based on television market size and metropolitan size. And I build a map of those 32 cities, and I broke them east and west. And the whole idea of that was those are the cities that you were going to be in. Then from there, we were going to build what is the name of the team going to be, what is the mascot going to be, what is the color scheme going to be, and that was going to be the league. Well, because we only got the 24 teams in this, the idea for the next 32 early build was that we would start with the 24, everybody get to pick their cities, and then we knew as we were going through the years that there was going to be opportunities or times where we would have to do dispersal drafts because we were going to have new teams that were coming in and stuff like that to get us to the 32. And that actually got 2 votes as well. And then we were going to do the NFL Emulation League, which is going to be pretty much like what the APFL was. But I think what we were going to do is try to avoid using any of the same names that we had with the APFL to kind of let that league die. And it got 5 votes. And then the top 2, the next one up was the College Emulation League. Think about it just like what we did with the APFL, where we were going to use colleges and the color schemes, and the nickname of the school was going to be close, and the logo was going to be close, but it wasn't going to be exactly it, like Michigan Victors or Ohio State Buck versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Notre Dame Leprechauns versus Notre Dame Fighting Irish, something like that, right? That's what we're going to do. And that actually got 7 votes. And then we were down to, we had a tie. The next one also had 7 votes, and we had 1 vote left to get. That was MJ. She's on with us tonight. And MJ decided that she put her name in the hat for the High School Dynasty League. And that's where we come up with the name Alliance High School Dynasty League. So what it is of the 24 general managers that have joined, their team that they are going to represent is the team that they either went to the most years in high school or graduated from the high school. Some high school that has meaning to them. Like I'm being represented by the Xenia Buccaneers. Jason's on right now with us. He's going to be the Napoleon Wildcats. MJ is, I don't want to say it's Brownsville. I feel like that's not the right name, but she's the Falcons. Maybe Brownsville is the right name, MJ. You have to remind me. But every general manager in this league is going to represent their high school alma mater. It's not a fictional city. It's not a made-up brand. It's their actual school. It's going to be 24 teams, like I mentioned a couple times. It's going to be Brownsville. That's what it was. I knew I was saying it wrong. Brownsville is the name of the school. It's going to be 24 teams. It's going to be 2 conferences divided by a geographical boundary. And that boundary ends up being Interstate 77. And I'll tell you why here in just a second. But that Interstate 77 split us up into our 2 conferences. We got 12 teams to the west. We got 12 teams to the east. Each one of those conferences is going to have 3 divisions. We have schools from California to Canada and from Texas to Vermont. So it's going to be an awesome season. What I thought was really, really cool was I was really on the fence about whether people were going to accept this idea, especially for all of the ones that didn't vote for it. We had a lot of votes for the college one, so I thought the people who voted for the college are going to be a little bit, we don't really like the high school idea. But the people started being drawn to it, and when people started telling me, hey, this and this about my high school, or hey, can I use an old logo from the 30s that doesn't exist anymore, and stuff like that, I started seeing people get excited about it, and it got me excited about it. And one of the things that we used to do in the defunct Dynasty Leagues is we would do this parade of teams where we would talk about when the team existed and any championships they had, records they had, why they went defunct and stuff like that. And I thought, well, we're really not going to be able to do that with the high school teams. But then people started coming out and telling me, famous people that are famous athletes that graduated from the high school and things that their towns are known for, and stuff like that. And I started thinking this could be even a better parade of teams than what we had with the defunct one. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. And we've bought ourselves a little bit more time by pushing the draft from the 6th of April to the 13th of April. I think we'll talk about that again here a little bit, according to my script. Because of that, we get an extra week, and I can start working on doing these parade of teams. But this is going to be a Superflex tight end premium 26-round startup draft, and we are adding a unique feature in FSA this year. During the startup draft, we normally do the startup draft in one of these dynasties after the NFL rookie draft, and we're able to draft veterans and rookies. We're going to do 2 different drafts this year. We're going to do a veteran/rookie draft spot draft, hopefully to get that done before the NFL has their draft, so we can do a rookie draft after that. So what happens is during the veteran and rookie draft spot draft, if you decide you don't want to take a veteran player in a certain spot, you can take a rookie draft spot. So let's say it's 3rd round. I really don't like any of the veterans are there. I need to make sure that I have a little bit of youth on my team, and I see like the 104 for the rookie draft is still available. Instead of drafting that veteran player, I will draft the 104 spot. So what that does is whenever you get those rookie spots, we're building what the rookie draft order is going to be when we have the draft a couple of weeks later after the NFL rookie draft is over. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I've been fielding a lot of questions about that. I'm hoping if you're out there watching it right now and you're hearing my voice say it, that maybe it makes a little bit more sense. If I confused you even more, make sure you hit me up with a DM tomorrow on Discord, and I'll try to explain it to you a little bit better. We are using a practice squad this year for the first time that only rookies can sit on, and the practice squad resets every season. So there's going to be a lot more roster management in this league than what we've had in any of the other Dynasty leagues, so it should be a lot of fun. The prize pool is $2,400. We're going to pay out 8 teams, so as long as you make the playoffs, you are getting your money back plus a little bit. So it's not really your average Dynasty league, and it is going to be the Alliance High School Dynasty League. So let's talk about that I-77 split. And this is where we get to our segment called The Road to Canton. So the reason Interstate 77 was picked for the conference divide, it just so happened to work that way. As I'm sitting there waiting to figure out where the last person went to high school at, in my brain I thought I knew, and I thought this person was in Texas. And I did not know how I was going to split this map up, north, south, east, west, small groups here, combine them. I didn't really know how I was going to do it. Then I found out that this guy graduated from New York, and it worked out perfectly. As I started going, okay, these 12 here, these 12 here, what do I use as the divide so everybody understands why these 12 are west and these 12 are east? And I looked at Interstate 77, which runs right through Cleveland, Ohio. But you know what else it runs through? It runs right through Canton, Ohio, which is where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is at. And it worked out to be just a perfect divide for the West and the East. Greatest NFL players are enshrined there. A destination for all of the general managers in our league as well, and here's why. So part of the role-playing thing that we're going to do with the AHDSL this year is you will be playing your games in your high school stadiums this year. And each one of the conferences play all the way through to their conference championship inside their own conferences, West and East. When it comes down to having our West champion and our East champion, and they're going to play for the championship, they're going to play role-playing wise in Canton. So Week 17's game will be at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, which is in Canton, Ohio. We have named this game, at least for this first year, the Canton Championship, and this is what every general manager is playing for. So the road to Canton will start on the 13th of April. Like I said, that we've pushed the start of the draft back a week. It will be a slow draft. You will get 6 hours per pick, just like we've done before. You will have an overnight pause. In previous years when we've done this, the longest draft has taken 11 days. I was having a conversation with Jeff the other day, and Jeff said he was very impressed by that. He's never had a draft go that fast. And I said, and the 11 days was our longest one because we usually go 7 or 8 days. And watch, we'll probably make a liar out of ourselves by not making them go that fast this time around. But once we get going on the 13th, as long as everybody's paying attention to Discord like we've done in the previous years, we should get through it fairly quick. It's actually a couple rounds less than what we're used to as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get to the draft on the 13th, we have the Friday night draw first. The Friday night draw is going to happen on the 3rd of April. So a little bit more role-playing and a little bit more symbolism in this league. High school football's played on Friday night. We are naming the draft order show. That's what we normally call it. We're calling it the Friday night draw, and we're going to do it on the 3rd of April, which is a Friday night. I'm going to do the West Conference at 7 p.m. That's normal kickoff for most high school games. And then we're also going to do the East Coast Conference on the same night at 8 p.m. Gives us about an hour in between. They normally take 45 minutes as long as we don't. Damian Scott is out there. Damian, you will pop up here in just a second. I'm glad to see you on. I'm hoping somebody's hearting that for you out there. So we will do the second one at 8 o'clock. They usually take about 45 minutes as long as we don't have a late set of snake eyes. We should be able to get it in. There's going to be, there he is, finally popped up on my screen. Sir, how are you? I hope everybody's doing well. I love that logo that's on that glass. We are going to change up the final roll order a little bit. After we got done doing the order for baseball, we decided that we wanted to change it up a little bit because the final roll has seemed to be kind of blah lately. I think we had a conversation in a Discord channel about what that new order might look like. I'm going to go back and find it. I will refine the draft board. And then whenever we get the new order settled in, I'll make sure everybody knows. But you're going to see it live anyways if you want to be there. Again, it's going to be a live event, but you don't have to be there. The draft order will get done regardless. Another good reason that we are moving the draft all the way to the 13th because the original plan was let's do the draft order shows on the 3rd and then start the draft on the 6th. The unfortunate part about that is we're allowing draft order trades. And I know Furby was asking about it, and it doesn't give a whole lot of time for people to be able to make those trades. So us moving it from the 6th to the 13th gives everybody an extra week. So just like normal, the Friday night draw is going to be broadcast live on, we said StreamYard. It's going to be here like this on YouTube on OBS like we normally do. I'm not sure even why I put StreamYard in my script. Snake eyes. Yes, please. Yeah, no, there's not going to be another snake eyes added to the list, Jason, if that's what you were referring to. No, that is not going to happen. I think what we're going to do is when you roll in that final roll, it's 2 4-sided die. 2 4-sided die, the number that comes up the most is 5. And all we've been doing with a 5 is moving up and down one spot. I'm not doing that. I think I want to move that one to probably one of the ones that is less frequent. I want something that's going to really jumble up the board quite a bit on the last roll. I think what we're moving into that spot is a 4-team swap right at the end. I think that's probably one of the most fun ones to do, and a little bit easier whenever you have 12 teams like we're going to have in each one of the conferences for the AHSDL versus the 16 that we just got done having in baseball, and you have to do the daggone wheel. So it will go probably a little bit faster with the dice. So that Friday night draw is 8 days away. That is next Friday. So make sure that if you want to watch it live, that you are around on that night. All right, let's get down to this last topic for the night. King of the Castle. That's what KOTC stands for, King of the Castle. So if you thought what we were doing with the AHSDL was unique, King of the Castle is kind of a league of its own. For those that played in the one beta test year that we had, I think it was in 2020, already understand how unique it is and how on top of everything you need to be able to be a part of this league. It absolutely requires 16 general managers to play in it. So far, we've had 8 that said that they would like to be in it. We haven't been pushing it very, very hard because it's one of those leagues that you can kind of wait almost until redraft time before you actually have to have a draft for it. And we've been putting a lot of effort into the Dynasty League since it came together so fast. But the King of the Castle is still out there, half filled. So if you're looking for something different and you weren't part of it in 2020, and we're going to play in 2021 and didn't get the opportunity to. It's coming back. Just hit me up if you want to be a part of it. And MJ's right. It's such a cool concept. There's a lot of work on my side, but I actually enjoy it as well. What I do like about King of the Castle is you get dedicated members to be in that one because you have to be dedicated because there's something going on all the time with that league. There's always something going on. At the end of the week, you're pillaging players. You're moving up and down in the standings. You have to do a waiver wire if you've had players pillaged, all kinds of stuff. So I'm assuming that the old snap is from that because of the King of the Castle. And MJ's comments about to come up here in just a second. She says it's ruthless. It really is. The only thing that we're changing from the King of the Castle from 2020 is I think at that point we were pillaging 2 players. We've reduced it down to just 1 player pillage. I think what that does is it allows to be more competitive by only drawing away 1 player versus 2 like we did before. There's MJ's comment saying that it's ruthless. So that is making a comeback. If you are not already part of the group of 8 and you want to be in on it, hit me up on Discord and we'll get you added to it, added to the channel that is already built on Discord for it so you all can stay in the know on what's going on with it. All right, before we really, really close it out, I got to say one more thing out there. So the FSA family got a little bit bigger recently. If you've been paying attention to the posts that are coming out on Discord, the stories that are going out on the website, the newsletter that is now going out in addition to, we put this news out there. But Eric Talbot has joined the Alliance as an APBL contributing writer. He's already published multiple pieces. I think we got a total of 4 on the website right now. 5th one is sitting in my inbox, and I think he's going to have the last one done for me before Saturday, so we can get all 6 of his preseason stories posted before we have our draft, even though MLB had the soft opening yesterday. If you haven't seen his stories yet, go over to the website, look for his byline. Again, it's Eric Talbot. I don't know if it comes up as Eric Talbot or Eric T. I have to look. But I wanted to say officially on air to Eric tonight, welcome to the Alliance family, and thank you for being a contributing writer for us. I appreciate it. So that's it. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Brian B., and this has been the Alliance Report.